Good day, dear friends. Today we will talk about amazing creatures that have lived alongside humans for thousands of years and are surrounded by numerous mysteries, legends, and beliefs. We're talking, of course, about cats. These mysterious animals have been considered unusual beings since ancient times, endowed with mystical abilities and connections to the other world. It's no wonder that many omens and superstitions have formed around them. In different cultures, cats were perceived differently. In some places they were worshipped, in others feared, but they left no one indifferent. Today, we will examine 13 of the most famous superstitions related to cats and try to understand their origins and meanings. So let's begin with perhaps the most famous superstition. The first superstition: a black cat crossing your path. In Russia and many European countries, it is believed that if a black cat crosses your path, it brings misfortune. Even now, in the age of technology and science, many prefer to change their route, or at least wait until someone else walks along the enchanted path first. Where did this superstition come from? Its roots go back to medieval Europe, the times of witch hunts. Black cats were considered familiars of witches, beings that helped sorceresses in their dark deeds. It was believed that a witch could transform into a black cat to secretly enter homes and cast spells. If such a cat crossed someone's path, it was perceived as an attempt by evil forces to interfere with the person, lead them astray, or bring misfortune. Interestingly, in some cultures, this superstition has the exact opposite meaning. For example, in Great Britain, an encounter with a black cat is considered a good sign, predicting luck. And in Japan, black cats are even revered as beings that bring happiness and drive away evil spirits. The second superstition: a cat washing itself means guests are coming. This superstition is widespread in Russia and other Slavic countries. It is believed that if a cat carefully washes itself, licking its paws and wiping its face, guests will soon come to the house. Moreover, some believe that by observing how exactly the cat washes itself, you can determine who will come. If it washes behind its ear, there will be women. If it wipes its face with its paw, men. The origin of this superstition has quite a logical explanation. Cats have a very sensitive sense of smell, and before people arrive, they can detect scents that are imperceptible to the human nose. Washing may be a reaction to these new smells. Additionally, cats often begin to intensively groom themselves when atmospheric pressure changes, which often precedes the arrival of guests. For example, if they are coming from afar in rainy or snowy weather. The third superstition: a cat sleeping on a person removes illness. In many cultures, there is a belief that cats can absorb negative energy and illnesses. If a cat lies on a sore spot, on the stomach for stomach pains, on the chest for colds, on the legs for rheumatism, it is believed that it draws out the illness. This superstition has some physiological basis. A cat's body temperature is higher than humans, 38 to 39 degrees versus our 36.6, so a cat lying on a sore spot acts as a kind of warming compress. Additionally, a cat's purring occurs at a frequency of 25 to 150 Hz, which coincides with the range used in vibroacoustic therapy to accelerate tissue healing and relieve pain. The fourth superstition: a three-colored cat in the house brings happiness and prosperity. Three-colored cats, with patches of white, black, and red, are considered special and lucky in many cultures. In Japan, they are called manekineko, the beckoning cat, and are believed to attract wealth and prosperity. In England, three-colored cats were called money cats, as they were thought to bring financial well-being. Interesting fact: the vast majority of three-colored cats are females. This is related to the genetics of coloration. The gene for red color is located on the X chromosome, and two X chromosomes with different variants of this gene are needed for a three-colored coat to appear. Males usually have only one X chromosome, so three-colored male cats are extremely rare, approximately 1 in 3,000, and are often infertile due to genetic abnormalities. Perhaps this rarity and uniqueness of three-colored male cats contributed to the emergence of the belief about their special luckiness. The fifth superstition: a cat scratching furniture or wallpaper signals weather changes. Many cat owners notice that before weather changes, their pets become more active, start running around the apartment, scratching furniture and wallpaper. This belief has a scientific explanation. Cats are very sensitive to changes in atmospheric pressure, air humidity, and the Earth's electromagnetic field, which occur before weather changes. Moreover, cats have special receptors on their paw pads that detect vibrations and pressure changes. Before a thunderstorm or storm, these receptors may give the cat uncomfortable sensations, which manifests in increased activity and the desire to extend their claws. The sixth superstition, a cat lying on the threshold, guards the house from evil spirits. In many cultures, the threshold of a house is considered a boundary between worlds, the safe inner space of the house and the potentially dangerous outside world. A cat lying on the threshold, according to beliefs, performs the role of a guardian, not allowing negative energy and evil spirits into the house. This superstition has ancient roots. Even in ancient Egypt, cats were considered sacred animals capable of seeing spirits and driving away evil forces. In Slavic mythology, the cat was also associated with the home hearth and protection of the house. Interestingly, in some traditions, the cat was the first to be let into a new house. It was believed that it would take on possible negativity and cleanse the space for people. The seventh superstition, a cat hiding its face predicts cold weather. Many have noticed that sometimes cats sleep covering their face with a paw or hiding their nose in their tail. According to folk beliefs, this predicts a cold spell. Once again, folk wisdom turns out to be based on real observations. Cats are very sensitive to temperature changes and can sense the approach of a cold front long before people notice it. By hiding its nose, the part of the body most sensitive to cold, the cat instinctively prepares for colder weather. Additionally, in such a position, it's warmer to sleep, as heat loss through the nose and paw pads is reduced. The eighth superstition, a cat leaving home predicts trouble. In many cultures, there is a belief that if a cat suddenly leaves home and doesn't return, it predicts misfortune for the owners or even destruction of the house. This superstition may be related to the fact that cats are very sensitive to changes in the environment and can detect signs of danger imperceptible to human perception. For example, before earthquakes, animals often show anxiety and may try to leave the dangerous zone. Historically, there have been cases when a mass exodus of cats and other animals from a certain area preceded natural disasters. However, it's worth remembering that a cat's sudden departure from home may have more prosaic reasons, from searching for a partner during mating season to reactions to stress or illness. The ninth superstition, a cat sleeping on its back, stretched out full length, predicts warm weather. If a cat sleeps on its back, spreading its paws and exposing its belly, according to folk beliefs, this predicts warm weather. In this case too, the superstition has a rational explanation. In hot weather, cats often sleep in such a position to increase heat dissipation. The belly, where the fur is usually thinner, releases heat better. If a cat takes such a position, it may already be sensing the approach of warmth, although people haven't noticed it yet. The 10th superstition, a cat often and for a long time looking out the window predicts rain. Many cat owners notice that before rain, their pets can sit for hours at the window, intently looking outside. This behavior may be related to the fact that before rain, air humidity increases and atmospheric pressure changes, which makes smells more intense and far-reaching. For a cat with its fine sense of smell, the world outside the window becomes richer in scents and, accordingly, more interesting to observe. Additionally, the pressure change before rain can affect the well-being of small animals and insects, making their behavior more noticeable to the cat's eye. The 11th superstition, a cat brought into the house brings happiness and prosperity, while a cat that comes on its own brings luck. In many cultures, there is a belief that a cat that voluntarily chooses your house brings special luck. It is believed that such cats have a special sense for good energy and choose homes where they will be well and safe. This superstition may have a psychological basis. If a cat chose your home itself, it means that you and your dwelling made a good impression on it. And since cats are cautious and selective creatures, their approval can be perceived as a good sign. Additionally, the appearance of a pet in the house often does make life happier. Interaction with animals reduces stress, improves mood, and can even positively affect physical health. The 12th superstition, a cat sleeping with its head toward the exit guards the house, with its head toward the center of the house, senses danger from outside. According to this belief, the position of a sleeping cat can tell where problems may come from. From the perspective of animal behavior, there is a rational grain in this superstition. Cats are predators, and even in sleep, they maintain vigilance. Instinctively, a cat tries to position itself to control potential sources of danger. If a cat sleeps with its head toward the exit, it may not expect a threat from outside and is ready to track movement inside the house. If it has turned its head toward the center of the house, with its back to the exit, this may mean that it has heard or sensed something suspicious outside and wants to keep that direction in its field of vision. And finally, the 13th superstition. A cat, especially a Siamese, howling like a child predicts death. This is one of the gloomiest beliefs associated with cats. In different cultures, there are legends that a cat's howl, similar to a child's cry, predicts the imminent death of one of the household members or neighbors. This superstition is probably related to the fact that some cat breeds, especially Siamese, can indeed make sounds resembling human crying. Such sounds are often associated with the mating period or territorial conflicts, but their similarity to human crying in the silence of night can make a creepy impression. Additionally, in former times, cats could react to the smell of a human's serious illness, which sometimes coincided with the subsequent death of the patient. This coincidence could become fixed in the public consciousness as a cause and effect relationship. Now that we have examined 13 famous superstitions related to cats, let's talk about how to regard them in the modern world. First of all, it's worth understanding that many superstitions have a rational basis. Observations of real cat behavior, which are indeed sensitive to changes in the environment. Cats can detect signs of approaching bad weather, react to smells and sounds imperceptible to human perception, sense changes in atmospheric pressure and the electromagnetic field. At the same time, many superstitions, especially those associated with mysticism and prediction of misfortunes, are products of the human desire to find explanations for random coincidences and to give meaning to incomprehensible phenomena. In an era when science could not explain many natural phenomena, people created their own explanations, often connecting them with otherworldly forces. A modern view of cat superstitions can be more rational, but this doesn't mean they are completely devoid of value. Many of them reflect subtle observations of animal behavior and can serve as a kind of folk weather forecast or indicator of changes in the environment. Moreover, omens and beliefs are part of cultural heritage, a reflection of how our ancestors perceived the world and what place in this world they assigned to cats. By studying these beliefs, we better understand the history of the relationship between humans and cats, an amazing animal that has lived alongside us for millennia while maintaining its independence and mysteriousness. Interestingly, attitudes toward cats in different cultures could be diametrically opposed. If in ancient Egypt, cats were deified and mummified after death, in medieval Europe, they were often associated with witchcraft and the devil. In Japan, cats are considered symbols of luck, while in some African cultures, they are feared as potential shapeshifters. These differences in perception are also reflected in cat-related superstitions. The same behavior, for example, a black cat crossing a path, can be interpreted as a portent of trouble in one culture and as a sign of luck in another. In the modern world, many people regard superstitions skeptically, considering them relics of the past. However, even the most rational of us sometimes catch ourselves instinctively knocking on wood or avoiding a black cat. Omens and superstitions are deeply rooted in human psychology and culture, and it's difficult to completely ignore them. Perhaps the most sensible approach is to treat superstitions as an interesting cultural phenomenon reflecting centuries-old observations of animal behavior, but not allowing them to control your life or cause unreasonable fears. And remember, regardless of whether you believe in superstitions or not, a cat in the house is first and foremost a living being that needs care, love, and respect. Treat your pet with kindness and attention, and it will definitely bring happiness to your home. Not mystical, but quite real, consisting of warm, purring moments, games, affection, and that special atmosphere of comfort that the presence of a cat creates in a home. I hope this video helped you learn something new about cat-related superstitions and, perhaps, see your furry friend's behavior in a new light. If it was useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. In the comments, tell us what other cat-related superstitions you know. Do you believe in them? Have you noticed coincidences between your cat's behavior and subsequent events? Share your stories. They may be interesting and useful to other cat lovers. Take care of your furry friends, and until next time!